creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Minnesota needs diverse teachers who represent our students and communities. Explore teaching degree options at Metro State University's Urban Education Info Session in person at the Minneapolis campus on June 24th. Metro State's programs offer pathways to bachelor's degrees designed for those committed to serving urban communities. Visit campus, get an overview of teaching programs, and meet with an advisor. Sign up at metrostate.edu/urban teacher program. Become a teacher, shape the future. Metro State University.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate-Shikoing storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 76. Saturday sunny and hot with a high near 97. And Sunday sunny with a high near 95. Nightingale offers a warm, inviting atmosphere with a full menu of American classics like the famous Nightingale Burger and Fries, Ginger Tamari Chicken Wings, and Duck Pastrami Reuben. They're open daily from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with a full menu available until midnight. Learn more at nightingalempls.com.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, any cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. Hey, we're getting some weather here. We always like to talk about the weather. I don't know if that's a thing, but we always do. And it's going to be 1,000,000 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. And
yeah,
so it's always good. And maybe in we'll have State Senator Mary Kunesh on too, but maybe in your segment later or now we can just talk about checking on your relatives and your and your animals.
Absolutely. Yes. Check on your elders, people who are older. This is really bad. The heat index is going to be over 100 degrees both on Saturday and Sunday. Just yesterday it was still hot and muggy, and I saw an elderly woman mowing her lawn, and I don't think that was a good idea, but she was doing it. She had to get it done because later on in the afternoon, I saw that she put chairs and tables out. So she must have something going on.
Well, it's the neighborhood garage sale.
Yeah,
she's got stuff out there.
That was really a lot. I mean,
I know.
I'm not
saw
sure
her.
I could even do it. But I mean, even it's hot now. Extreme heat warning. This is in St. Paul, Minnesota. Extreme heat warning. These conditions are expected by 12 p.m., which is already passed, through Saturday.
Is that 12 p.m. tonight, or?
Well, it says by 12 p.m. That's the afternoon.
Oh.
Saturday, June 21st. And, this is significant. This is the severity. It says significant threat to life or property.
When they say 12, I get all confused if it's
PM is in the afternoon and AM is in the morning.
Well, I know you're not confused, but I said I get confused.
Yeah, that's funny. A lot of people
it's like, 11:59.
I know.
What
I
the
know.
heck?
I know.
Well, hey, we've had a really emotional week in shows, and then also personally, starting last Saturday, Wendy, with the tragic assassinations of Melissa Hortman and her husband, and the other
and their dog Gilbert,
and the Hoffman family too.
Mhm.
He took 9 bullets and she took 8 bullets, and they're out of the hospital, I think.
Wow.
I heard now.
Yeah, I heard yesterday that they would be getting out. I don't know if they are out now, but thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
It's just it's been really I've been feeling very kind of heavy and kind of sad, and it's the kind of feeling I had, Robert, remember during COVID, and like everything was happening, and like every day you woke up and you were like, oh, like at least me, I was just like, okay, what's going to happen today? Like put on the news and listen to the news, and all, just like every day it was something. I feel like that now, what's happening, the murders, what's happening in the administration that we have now in Washington, D.C. It's just like every day before the news comes on, I literally hold my breath.
Well, you know what it reminds me of, too, is 9/11, because remember, we went through a whole week, and,
my gosh.
We can hear the St. Paul, Minneapolis airport from a distance. It's not severe in our neighborhood at all by any means. We get a plane fly over every once in a while, but there was dead silence.
Yeah, there were no planes overhead at all.
Which was crazy. And then every once in a while you'd see a F-16 flying around looking for something.
And then helicopters all over during like George Floyd. And
don't forget Standing Rock. I still have, when it comes to helicopters, it's very bizarre that you brought that up. When we went to Standing Rock, that was embedded in us with the little small plane flying over and buzzing the whole campgrounds, and also a helicopter.
24/7.
Yeah,
that plane buzzed Standing Rock 24/7 for days and days and days.
Oh, every day that they were out there. But I mean, I guess when the days that we were out there, it was like that was a lot, and. And then, like you said, George Floyd, we had helicopters in our neighborhood. It's only like 4 miles from our house.
Yeah.
And then we had all those bad actors coming from Wisconsin and Iowa setting fire to our neighborhoods and the downtown Minneapolis. It was crazy.
So I feel like that now, like on edge. That's what I think it is. I feel like I'm on edge, and I'm just like waiting like for the next thing. Like I'm feeling a little pessimistic.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling
very
optimistic.
It's hard not to be, and especially
now
when we got the clown show, promising everyone that he's going to take care of the economy the first day, promising that he would keep us out of wars, and all these promises just to get elected. And here we go. But the funny thing is
the opposite of everything you said.
The taco man, though, I like what he said about Iran, where he wasn't gonna. He'll think about it in 2 weeks. So there's another thing that, I'll give a tariff on them in a couple weeks. We'll get rid of TikTok in a couple weeks.
You can't believe one thing that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah,
you can't. No. He's a pathological liar. He has a black heart.
Well,
he has no soul.
Right.
I'm convinced.
There's no empathy.
There's something wrong with his brain.
There's no empathy with MAGA.
He's a narcissist.
Yeah, the narcissist,
sickening.
and I think that's.
He's a Nazi.
And when we talk about, and I was listening to another station earlier today, and talking about the liberals being as bad as MAGAs,
break.
Exactly.
Well, that's what Fox News would say.
Right. But he doesn't like MAGAs too, so that makes him okay, but not really, because it's always been the Republicans are against people and for business, and the Democrats are for people, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's been my whole lifetime.
Right. He just said the other day that he's going to stop going into fields, stop going into different restaurants and, not going to grab illegals from those places. And now he's going back on his word and he's doing it. So it's just.
Well, two things with LA being the Marines being there and all that. I'm, Wendy, I'm a big baseball fan, and you are too, as a matter of fact. Is that the Dodgers said no dice to ice? That kind of rhymes, but we need the other major league teams, sports teams, to say that.
We just have to all stay strong, go to every protest that's out there, post things on social media and share it.
Well, and
talk to your neighbors.
Next week is Pride.
Yes.
And all the big companies aren't supporting Pride like Target, but we have, I heard 80% of the organizations that do support Pride are not the big companies. And it's the small mom and pop businesses. So we need to support them, but we also need to get back to our roots as boomers, Wendy, and that's get out there on the street. And I know we've been talking about that a lot, and we've done it.
We're all about that, getting on the street.
Right. And we hopefully Pride will be back. I know it's been a celebration for many years, and we're going to be live at Pride, and we're going to have Dr. Stately and Jace Rowe on. And I just got to say, Pride's been in celebration, but I think it's time to get back to the way it was in the 80s, and that's get down. I mean, look what the Supreme Court did just a couple days ago, with the rights of transgenders and young transgenders under 18, and it's insane. So I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say this one thing. What they did, they stopped funding for the LGBTQ youth hotline, suicide hotline. Now, if they care so much about life and children, why would they do such a thing?
Exactly. Up next, State Senator Mary Kunesh. This is Native Roots Radio. Thanks, Wen.
Yeah.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
I'll never forget. I was driving my Sienna from Rudy Luther Toyota, and I was hit at 35 miles an hour, rear-ended square flush. If not for the structural integrity of my Sienna, I wouldn't be here right now. There's a lot I can say about Rudy Luther Toyota, about their fantastic service department and their great selection, but being able to say your car saved my life is the best endorsement I can make. Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota are my highest recommendation. Get one today and tell them me, Matt McNeil, told you to stop on in. Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jin Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up. They are going to become more brutal.
Kunesh,
because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host again, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and we have our friend, State Senator Mary Kunesh on today, and we're always excited to see you, State Senator. Saw you last night, very somber night, and I appreciate you coming on again this week. Thank you so much.
Sure. Hamatakiape, everybody. It's good to be here with you. It's been a crazy, crazy week, and a lot of heartbreak.
Definitely. And, I got a chance to see you right away. I saw a couple, Jess Hansen, Representative Hansen came up to me, and Wendy, and we saw the Lieutenant Governor. The governor was there. There were so many people there, really just with their candles and being very quiet and listening to the sounds. I understand that you, as elected officials, had your own ceremony before that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So yesterday, or let's see. So Wednesday night, legislators from across the DFL legislators, Democrat legislators from across the state gathered, and other folks that are involved in some of the politics of our state, and worked with Melissa Hortman and her father or her husband. We had our own little memorial service for them. And for those who don't know what we're really talking about or need a reminder, this past weekend, Minnesota experienced a tragic incident where a gunman went to the home of the leader of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives, Melissa Hortman. Went to their home, shot her husband, their dog, then left. It appears that, and then he left, went and circled back to another state senator's home that was not too far from there. He had already, prior to murdering the Hortmans, had been to two other legislators' homes, was up to their door, rang the bells, but fortunately those people were not home, and therefore, quite literally dodged a bullet. But he did make it into the Hortman's home, shot them, as I said, left there, circled back to another senator where he actually was sitting in his truck, and another police officer pulled up, spoke to him, thinking he was a police officer because he had a vehicle all decked out like a police car, the lights, the license plates. He was dressed in full police gear, and this police officer had been sent to do a wellness check on the senator, and she assumed he was doing the same. And then from there, he left and went over to Senator John Hoffman's home, where he proceeded to shoot both John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette. Fortunately, John and Yvette have survived the bullets. I think Senator Hoffman was shot a number of times, one very narrowly missing his heart. And they are recuperating, but the loss of Melissa Hartman is just reverberated through this state in so many ways. So legislators from decades joined us last night in a memorial service where we were able to speak to her husband, speak to the good work that she has done, the kind of leader. She was an incredible leader, really and truly. Even when she was leading, we all knew she was an incredible leader. And now she will definitely be missed pretty significantly. And then from there, we went to, and so it was lovely. We heard the stories. We heard the humor. It was just really helpful for us all to join together, both the House and the Senate. I myself served in the Minnesota House for 4 years, and my very first year that I was elected into the House was the year that Melissa Hortman became the minority leader. And
Wow.
my 4 years were under her I went through the formation of a legislature under her mentorship, her tutelage, her example, and like I've said before, it's made me a better legislator because of that, for sure. So that was really special. And then we went over to the Capitol, and I got a couple little girlies here. We went over to the Capitol, where ran into you and a bunch of other people, and had a candlelight memorial service for Melissa and her husband. It was lovely as well. And, hundreds and hundreds of people came out. Again, so many legislators and those kind of folks that are connected to the legislature, lobbyists, folks that support us, our staff. And the Minnesota Orchestra played lovely music outside on the steps of the Capitol, and people came up and left flowers and memorials. And then we had a really fabulous drum group from Red Lake.
Yeah.
Shared an honor song and traveling. Yeah, so we had some really heartfelt drumming from a group from Red Lake. They came, I think there were there half a dozen drummers around there? And some of the women joined in the singing. There was an honor song or two, a travel song. It was really heartfelt and meaningful. And I have had so many people reach out to me to say how much that meant to have the Indigenous community acknowledge her. There were leaders from the Indigenous community. Sam Strong was there. His parents were there.
Yeah.
It was really a lovely evening.
Yeah, I agree. And, it was a couple thousand people there at least. And we were really happily surprised when we came up, Wendy and I, because we parked in our secret spot at the Sears lot where everybody parks now. And that was really full, and we went, this is great. So we walked over, and you were one of the first people that we saw. We saw a couple before we saw you. We saw a couple people that listen to the show, which is always great. And I want to just give them a shout out. And but I liked too, State Senator, that there were no speeches. It was just quiet mourning and presence and bonding with people maybe you haven't seen in a while. Like you say, there was former representatives there and things like that. And there was people I hadn't seen in a long time. And it was just a good community event under terrible circumstances.
Yeah, there were people I'm not sure that I knew, but knew me and came up to say a word of support and sympathy, and I really, really appreciate it. It's been amazing, the outpouring efforts to acknowledge Melissa and her husband, John Hoffman, and his wife, it makes you realize there are people that really do care and speak from the heart when they come out to something like that. And maybe having never met her, maybe never knew John Hoffman, but they were there because of the, sort of the good of the masses, when we can support each other and sympathize together. Those are some of the first steps in healing, and there's a lot of healing to be done.
Well, one of the things too, I think people were coming up to you and the other elected officials too, because this guy was on the loose for a couple days, and it was a Democratic hit list. So we're glad that you're still here, and the other people that ran for or that are in office That's a huge deal, and I know there's relief when I texted you, and that we heard that you knew what was going on, and we're out of harm's way and being taken care of, and so it's bigger. It's bigger than a ceremony because all you guys were under the gun, so to speak, too, with this assassin who was out for a couple days. And I don't know how you want to respond to this, but I know we've talked about this, and feel free to respond or not. But I know if it was a BIPOC person or somebody of brown or orange, they would not have been arrested as easily as this guy. He didn't even look like his hair was tousled at all. And so we always just want to bring that up too, that we've noticed that here on Native Roots Radio.
Yeah, I mean, we know that historically, Black and brown people have often been not only the target of violence against police and those kind of folks, but also, are treated much harsher. And hopefully things are going to change down the road as we go forward.
Absolutely. Good words. Hey, we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we got another segment with her. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Rest. June is here, which means you might be having a graduation party at your house soon. Summer also means sleepovers. Your kids are going to be at the playground, at the water park, at the beach. There's going to be a lot of mess coming into the house over the summer, and you need to call my cleaning heroes at Zero Rest to make sure your home is in order for the summer. And since June is here, it's time to take advantage of Zero Rest's best deal of the summer. Zero Rest can take care of any surface in your home or business, including carpet, tile, hardwood, rugs, upholstery, and air ducts. This month, take 20% off all services when you call my friends at Zero Res 9520-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com. Just tell them you want the AM 950 special. Their prompt, courteous team will come out and take care of you. Again, that's 20% off all services this month. Go to ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Zero Res, backward or forward, spells the same.
This is Mitch, owner of Junk Masters. Feeling overwhelmed by clutter? Spring's the perfect time to reclaim your space and peace of mind. Renting a dumpster is costly, and it all ends up in the landfill. Just show us what goes. We give usable items a second life by donating them. No calling all over town trying to figure out who takes what. We do the legwork for you. Easy, cost-effective, and local. There's no obligation. Visit junkmastersmn.com today.
Greg Bakken here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
Hey, it's Freddie Bell, host of New Beginnings, designed for those of us more seasoned, I'll say, with informative talk on everything from health, finance, local and regional news, volunteerism, spirituality, and even a bit of humor tossed in. So if you're proud to be a more seasoned listener, tune in to New Beginnings Sunday afternoons at 1 right here on the Progressive Voice of Minnesota, AM 950.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP, or visit snapconstruction.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 76. Saturday sunny and hot with a high near 97. And Sunday sunny with a high near 95. Experience the comfort of Nightingale, your neighborhood bar and restaurant. Enjoy American classics like the famous Nightingale Burger, Ginger Tamari Chicken Wings, and Duck Pastrami Reuben. Open daily 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with their full menu served until midnight. Learn more at nightingalempls.com.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio, and this is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everybody, and we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we have our grandchildren. We love background music, or background, I don't even want to call it noise, but we always have our animals during Wendy's animal segment that get fired up, and it's good to see the young spirit of your grandchildren joining in on this interview.
Yeah, I always look forward to the days that they come over here. They add a lot to my life. And usually on those days that they're here, I try to do, very little other than to hang out with them and play with them. They have such imaginations. I mean, I don't know about your grandkids, if they're chattering or, playing, but they have just the most incredible imaginations. And love to talk. Those two girls just talk, and they just play when they're together. So it'll be interesting when the little grandsons come along. But, Sylvia and her mom and dad came with me to the memorial service last night. And it was really lovely when the drumming started. Mm-hmm. And Sylvia just immediately, her body just started picking up the drum beat, and she just kind of organically started to dance. And, it was so rewarding to me. It just kind of not broke my heart, but warmed my heart because, we didn't grow up in community and the kind of things that I saw around Indian issues mostly were really sad and desperate issues because my dad did some work with the tribes, and he would take us to events and take us up to the different reservations in Minnesota, which at that time were in just dismal condition. I mean, the housing was so primitive and no infrastructure for water or sewer or roads. And so it wasn't such a joyful impression on us. The one thing that we loved the most was fry bread. He would take us to feasts and he'd always say, you have to eat everything. You have to try something of everything. And it was like, beaver and muskrat and, all kinds of very earthy indigenous foods that now we just die for, but back then it was like, oh, we're used to ground beef or something like that. But he'd always tell us you can't have any fry bread till you try all the other stuff. And to this day I really appreciate that he did that. So when my grandchildren and my children are exposed to those things, it's really important to me.
Yeah, it is. And it's so funny. We have a guest on, and I'm heading a little south on our conversation here, but we had a guest yesterday from Barb Fabre, who does indigenized boxes. And basically, they're helping the young ones, and they give them a box, and it's a subscription, and has Ojibwe songs, stories that, caregivers and parents can go with their kids from 0 to 3. And I'm just going, you need to do one of these for adults. I could have used one, 10 years ago for sure or longer than 10 years ago. But you know what I mean? It says to be accustomed to what our nations that we were brought up with in a good way, in an accurate way, and the stories and all those things that I missed as a young person, and that I'd like to hand on to my grandkids and my children too.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to learn from the elders, and I'm now at that age where I'm considered an elder as well. But I just think of some of those things, like you said, had I had that kind of support, or if I had known those things. Of course, we didn't have indigenous baby food like we have now, or some of those things, the books, I mean the children's books that are out there around Native American culture and the history, and they're told in such easy picture book formats, and a lot of times in the language of the tribe, or you can get it in video. There's even nursery rhymes that are sung in like the drumming beat and indigenous languages. I'm just so thrilled that we've been able to rebuild and revitalize and rediscover indigenous cultures and practices, and recognize the value of all of that. I think we're on the right track.
Yeah, and people are stepping up, and with your work as a lawmaker, it's having our voice there, and also normalizing things that may not seem that comfortable for our allies or people that weren't brought up with the correct history or our history or our ways of life. So I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, I mean, we have been able to do some really incredible things in schools, like American Indian education for all. Not just a pull aside for the kids, the Native kids, but American Indian history in the new history. Like the authentic, true history in the new history standards. We passed that law that allows smudging in school. We had
Yeah.
to pass a law to do that. We had to pass a law to allow our Native kids to carry their sacred tobacco pouches and wear those in school, to have their hats or garment at graduation, to allow for drumming, the removal of mascots, or if you're not going to remove it, if the tribe agrees that they would, the school would continue to use whatever the images or the language. And we've talked about this, like Red Wing Schools has done such a great job, and Prairie Island has built such an incredible relationship with that school district. And they offer Dakota languages down there. And so many kids, not just Native kids, want to learn it.
Right.
They've had to add extra classes to it. I mean, think about that, where in my grandfather's lifetime, probably even my mother's lifetime, you weren't allowed. It was against the law to speak your language, practice your faith, dance. You couldn't vote. You weren't a citizen. That wasn't so long ago. And
No.
It's just great that we're able to do these things in this day and age.
It's interesting, and I'm not a big Kevin Costner fan. I do like his movies. I do have to say I like Dancing with Wolves. Sorry for all you traditionalists out there. Some call it Dancing with Kevin Costner, but it really opened up the early 90s to the Native communities and how we were. And of course, Field of Dreams, all these other movies that he was in baseball-wise I like. But he said something really interesting, and it was about education. And he said history should be mandatory, just like math. And math shouldn't be mandatory because the people that gravitate to math are going to gravitate to math anyways. We need to teach history so we aren't always repeating it over and over again. And you as an educator, I thought I'd just bring that up because I thought that was a really interesting comment by him. And, start the history out young and make sure they're teaching it every year. And, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The correct history too.
Yep, 100%. And 2 years ago, when when we had the trifecta, the Democrats in the House, the Senate, and the governor, we passed a piece of legislation that creates a curriculum around genocide of the American Indian people, of the Holocaust. And a lot of folks don't recognize that there was such an intentional genocide, a plan to basically exterminate American Indians. And we'll look at pieces of history, especially around some of the things that Abraham Lincoln and those presidents did following him to take the land. And Wisconsin, all of their, so many of their universities and their higher education are built on American Indian, whole chunk land that they stole. People don't understand that or don't realize it. And oftentimes once they do, all of a sudden that light goes on and they're like, hey, we owe something here. Yeah.
Right. And just to acknowledging it too. And I agree 100%. Yeah. I just think history it really, and we talk about it a lot here in Native Roots Radio and along with you, State Senator Mary Kunesh, about history and how things are different now for our like you said earlier, your grandparents, my grandparents. Wasn't that long ago. I mean, I was a junior in high school when we could practice our own religion in 1978. So think about that. The boarding schools were still going on even into the 1990s, early 1990s. So this traumatic history that Native Americans go through and have gone through is here today, and also is not that far away history-wise.
Yeah, and it's our legacy. It's our legacy, and it's our responsibility to make sure that history does not repeat itself, that we make the amends that we can. But again, but doing it in a good way, a really good way. And I think that when we look at the housing issues, the health issues, all of those things, and the struggle that just every day happens, and now we're dealing with issues at the federal level. I have a feeling that we might have a lot to talk about in a few, within the next few weeks or to the months, but hopefully not just the Democrats, but the Republicans who are starting to stand up and say, no, these are not good policies. These are not good practices, that they'll make sure that those don't happen for all of us.
Well, State Senator, thank you again for being on twice this week. I really appreciate it, and appreciate you, and appreciate all the work you do and how you're here for the community, but also here for our on-air community too. It's very important, and I know people enjoy listening to you. Thanks again.
Yep. Wopilatanka.
We'll see you next week.
Okay.
Native Roots Radio will be right back after this short break.
Minnesota needs diverse teachers who represent our students and communities. Explore teaching degree options at Metro State University's Urban Education Info Session in person at the Minneapolis campus on June 24th. Metro State's programs offer pathways to bachelor's degrees designed for those committed to serving urban communities. Visit campus, get an overview of teaching programs, and meet with an advisor. Sign up at metrostate.edu/urban teacher program. Become a teacher, shape the future. Metro State University.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 888-373-3333.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, I'm Tiergan. And I'm Hadley. We're two of the very first listeners, and we're still listening to Native Roots Radio.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, we always like to give a shout out to Tiergan, Hadley, and Shania also. So
Yeah, definitely.
have a good weekend and keep cool.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio, and this is our sacred animal portion. And I don't know if we're going to pull out a Fun Fact Friday, but I want to introduce Wendy, who's co-founder of Native Roots Radio and Pilots Progressive Party, and our family. And so
I hope I'm your family.
No, I said
everybody.
you're co-creator.
My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I am a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. And it's always my pleasure to do that. I've been saying this for like a week now. It's like really, really hot out there. Please put a little pan of water out in the shade for the critters outside.
The chipmunks, the
Yes,
squirrels,
they
the
just
ducks,
they just need some water.
the
so
raccoons,
just put a
especially
little bit.
because they need water to eat.
Yeah, I took Wanda out for her
Poop walk.
poop walk this morning, and I have a don't laugh at me.
Oh.
I bought a cooling vest for Wanda. She's like the most spoiled dog in the whole entire world, but she's a rescue, and I just feel like, like I love her so much. She's my little child, my little child dog. She's my soul dog. I had a soul dog before, but she's another soul dog. And she had her little cooling vest on, and she looked really cute, and we went for a walk, and I think it really helped her. So like tomorrow when we go out, it's going to be 100 degrees. I'll put the cooling vest on her. The other thing I always check for is the pavement or the asphalt. I put my hand on it, the backside of my hand, and I make sure that it's not too hot. If I can't leave it for 5 seconds, then I don't, I'll pick her up and make sure she goes on the grass.
Did you hear that sound effect?
I
used
did.
for
I
the-
did. I thought
for
it
the
was my
cooling-
alarm. I thought
for
it
the
was my alarm on
this
my
is the-
phone going. I was like, I
putting-
shut off my phone before the show.
Put your backhand on the pavement and
I know.
make sure it's
Okay.
cool
Well, there you
enough.
go. Robert, I have multiple choice questions, just a couple of them. Do you want to play along?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is about animals. Some of them are animals and some of them are bugs, but here's the first one.
Bugs.
Yeah, it says, which animal can survive for weeks without a head? So a spider, a cockroach, or an ant?
Oh God, I know it's a cockroach.
Yes, cockroach is right. Could you believe it? They could survive for weeks without a head. That's
I've
nasty.
seen them.
That's
I've seen
nasty.
them. I'll tell you, restaurants I worked at.
I don't
when
want to hear it.
It was 50
Let's-
years ago.
No, I don't care. What animal dies after mating? A bat, an octopus, or a bee?
I'd say a bee.
You're right.
Wait a minute.
Two in a row. Two in a row. I guess you really want to pick your partner right? Like, you don't want to be like, oh, she'll do. No, you want to be like, I want her. You know what I mean?
Oh,
If you're
my
going to
God.
die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, either that or be like me. Oh, it don't matter.
Oh, Robert.
What? When it comes to getting your head chopped off
Oh,
or dying?
my God. All right. What animal does not close its eyes? An owl, a snake, or a fish?
I think that's a trick question because owls really don't have eyes, do they?
They do have eyes. They don't have eyeballs. They have like eye
Yeah, see?
tubes. But what animal
I'd
does
say an
not
owl.
close its
wait.
eyes?
Oh no, owls do blink. Give me those again.
A fish, a snake, or an owl?
I don't think I've ever seen a fish blink.
You were right again, 3 in a row. I don't know if it's all fish, but it's this is the
I've never seen a fish
particular.
A
you
sacred
know,
fish.
I know.
All right.
Okay. We've talked about this, so hopefully you'll remember this one. What is the largest animal on Earth? Can you guess that without even getting the 3?
A rhinoceros, or an elephant.
A camel,
No.
a blue whale,
Yes.
or a giraffe?
I'd say a blue whale.
Blue whale. Woohoo.
I forgot that they were mammals, but they breathe oxygen out of their little snot on the top of their head.
This is a little sad thing, but
no.
I need to say this. If you happen to live next to someone that was deported by ICE, please go in and take care of their pets, or go in and get their pets, because I don't know what's happening to people's pets. Like if they're just left behind, if animal control comes in, but I don't know. I'd have to look that up, but I just kind of saw something.
That's really good, because people have been getting, at where did you go today? Menards and all those places looking for work. And
I didn't go to Menards, but yeah. But yes, I know. Yes, it's terrible. I took a picture of animals in our backyard. Guys, everybody knows that we have like a menagerie back there. But last night it was so cute. I throw food out. So a female duck came, a squirrel was out there, and a rabbit, and they were like sitting in a circle looking at each other. And it looked so cute. So I took a picture of them.
Looks like an AA meeting.
They look like they were
in a group therapy.
In a circle talking to each other.
There was no guitar, so there was no
facing
singing.
Each other.
There was no guitar.
Here's another thing that I read online. You're not going to believe this.
Believe everything you read online.
Not that we. I know, right? So anyway, you know how like people play tug of war with their dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the dog will grab the other end of
like
the rope.
A sock or
right.
something.
Yeah. Or one of their stuffed animals or something.
I used to do that with the poncho.
Yeah. So playing tug of war with your dog, you're supposed to stay still and not move the rope or toy or whatever you have and let the dog do it all, because veterinarians are saying that they're getting a lot of dogs in with whiplash. So like the owner will and I know I've done that, like pull it and then shake it back and forth for your dog, and it's causing these dogs to get whiplash. So if you want to play tug of war with your dog, you stay still and don't tug or move the object and let your dog do all the work, because they don't really care that
all right, well, let's get back to
I don't have any more questions, but there's a picture of a dog. I'm going to talk about this picture that I have.
I love when you explain pictures over the radio.
Okay, so there's a picture of a dog, and he's sitting there. His head's kind of slouched down. He looks really, really sad, and it says underneath him, "Unfortunately, I don't know the difference between mom going into a different room and being abandoned for life." Oh, okay. We were talking about this here. Okay. If it's 85 degrees out, if the air temperature, listen to this. This is for protecting your pups on the pavement, concrete versus asphalt. So asphalt is the black, like
tar,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's the air temperature is 85 degrees out. That's what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
The concrete is 105, but asphalt is 130.
Yeah.
So again, tomorrow, air temperature 90 degrees. It's going to be at least 90 degrees. Concrete 125 degrees. Asphalt 140 degrees. Okay, the last one, air temperature 95 degrees. It's going to be 95 degrees Saturday and Sunday. Concrete 140 degrees. Asphalt 155 degrees. So really be careful, and please put some pans of water out there.
Exactly. Great sacred animal portion.
Water, and even ice cubes. There was one year I put a bowl of frozen like a pan of frozen water outside. Do you remember this? And I can't find the picture, but we had a little chipmunk like laying across it. He was so hot. Yeah, it was really cute. I'm gonna find it. And
I
show
think
it to
a
you
lot of
guys.
our animals out there like it's shaken and slightly stirred, and they don't like ice cubes on the rocks. Isn't that right? Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and that was our sacred animal portion of this Native American show. Wendy, Big Peeny Gee.
Yes, thank you. Keep cool this weekend, guys.
Yep, we're still here. We are the seventh generation, and Leonard Peltier is freed, and it's always good not to have to say that every show. So,
Yes.
hey, we'll be back next week.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so